A big one. And here I am, she finished, a bit lamely. I'll change it for you if you got a spare, he said, working his way out of his truck. Do you? For a moment she couldn't reply. The guy wasn't big, she'd been wrong about that. The guy was a giant. He had to go 6'6", but head to foot was only part of it. He was deep in the belly, thick in the thighs, and as wide as a doorway. She knew it was impolite to stare, another of the world's facts learned at her mother's knee, but it was hard not to. Ramona Norville had been a healthy chunk of woman, but standing next to this guy, she would have looked like a ballerina. I know, he said, sounding amused. You didn't think you were going to meet the jolly green giant out here in the willywags, did ya? Only he wasn't green, he was tanned a deep brown. His eyes were also brown. Even his cap was brown, although faded almost white in several places, as if it had been splattered with bleach at some point in its long life. I'm sorry, she said. It's just that I was thinking you don't ride in that truck of yours, you wear it. He put his hands on his hips and guffawed at the sky. Never heard it put like that before, but you're sort of right. When I win the lottery, I'm going to buy myself a Hummer. Well, I can't buy you one of those, but if you change my tire, I'd be happy to pay you $50. You kiddin'? I'll do it for free. You saved me a mess of my own when you picked up that scrap wood. Someone went past in a funny truck with a skeleton on the side, but he missed it. The big guy had been heading for Tessa's flat front tire, but now he turned back to her, frowning. Someone went by and didn't offer to help you out? I don't think he saw me. Didn't stop to pick up that mess for the next fellow, either, did he? No. He didn't. Just went on his way? Yes. There was something about these questions she didn't quite like. Then the big guy smiled and Tess told herself she was being silly. Spare under the cargo compartment floor, I suppose? Yes. That is, I think so. All you have to do is pull up on the handle, yep. Been there, done that. As he ambled around to the back of her expedition with his hands tucked deep into the pockets of his overalls, Tess saw that the door of his truck hadn't shut all the way and the dome light was on. Thinking that the F-150's battery might be as battered as the truck it was powering, she opened the door, the hinge screamed almost as loudly as the brakes, and then slammed it closed. As she did, she looked through the cab's back window and into the pickup's bed. There were several pieces of wood scattered across the ribbed and rusty metal. They were painted white and had nails sticking out of them. For a moment, Tess felt as if she were having an out-of-body experience. The ticking sign, "You like it, IT likes you," now sounded not like an old-fashioned alarm clock but a ticking bomb. She tried to tell herself the scraps of wood meant nothing, stuff like that only meant something in the kind of books she didn't write and the kind of movies she rarely watched, the nasty, bloody kind. It didn't work. Which left her with two choices. She could either go on trying to pretend because to do otherwise was terrifying, or she could take off running for the woods on the other side of the road. Before she could decide, she smelled the whopping aroma of man sweat. She turned and he was there, towering over her with his hands in the side pockets of his overalls. "Instead of changing your tire," he said pleasantly, "how about I fuck you?" How would that be? Then Tess ran, but only in her mind. What she did in the real world was to stand pressed against his truck, looking up at him, a man so tall he blocked out the sun and put her in his shadow. She was thinking that not 2 hours ago 400 people, mostly ladies in hats, had been applauding her in a small but entirely adequate auditorium. And somewhere south of here, Fritzy was waiting for her. It dawned on her, laboriously, like lifting something heavy, that she might never see her cat again. "Please don't kill me," some woman said in a very small and very humble voice. "You bitch," he said. He spoke in the tone of a man reflecting on the weather. The sign went on ticking against the eave of the porch. "You whiny whore bitch. Gosh sakes,